Blizzard is supposed to be making some changes to the Overwatch monetization soon. But what do they need to do? Let's have a look. Hey guys, I'm James from the Omnic Post. Monetization. Besides the waves on waves of layoffs, it is the hottest topic right now in the gaming community. And Blizzard and Overwatch specifically, sadly, are one of the bad guys in this whole story. But this is bigger than just Blizzard. So allow me to paint a larger picture, and I'll bring it back to Overwatch at the end, I'll promise. But overall, gamers feel like they get scammed, left and right. The trust in the AAA companies is at the lowest point it's ever been. Which is sad, because some of these companies are also responsible for some of the titles that actually inspired us to become gamers in the first place. But that was a long time ago, before they put their shareholders before, well, anything. When that started to happen, we as players lost. Some will tell you that this is the new reality, that we need to get used to that. But luckily, they are wrong. As long as there are companies out there that do not buy into this BS and that show us a different way of doing things, there is still hope. See, games are very different from other industries, even other media. The time that we spend playing games and interactivity make games into a very personal experience, more than any other media. Games are in essence a platform that allow you to make your own story. Even in games that do not have a story at all, or on the other side of the coin, the games that have a very predetermined story. And that is because of the context that you're playing these games, because of who you are playing these games with, or how that game will connect to your personality and your history. Which is something that is not exclusive to video games, by the way. I think people that play board games and D&D fanatics will find this very recognizable. But I'm going to focus on video games. There are two ways for game developers to use that unique quality of gaming as a media. The dark pattern way, or the scumbag way, is to keep pushing those psychological buttons, to abuse that love and passion that we have for their product, and to keep bumping up the prices for everything they offer until they get some pushback. At which point, they'll push even a little harder, they'll shut down the servers, fire everybody, and start anew. Okay, fine, it's a bit of an exaggeration, but to a certain extent, that is the strategy at all AAA companies, including Blizzard. The other way to do it is to build a relationship with your players, one that is based on trust. Trust is the key word in all of this. And luckily, we've seen more companies doing that. Most of them are indie companies, but still. Big companies need to understand that we as gamers are their employers. It's not the shareholders. See, the shareholders are not the ones that pay the developers. The developers should be earning and cultivating the trust of the player base. And we as players will reward that by buying their products. That money should be used to improve those products or start making new products. And at the end of the road, well, the shareholders will get what they want. Money. And if they butt out of the whole cycle and just wait for that money to come, they'll often earn more money than they would if they keep hitting those psychological buttons and start abusing the communities. The question, of course, is why is that not happening? Well, as I said, it actually does, but more about that in a second. What I've personally noticed in my few years I was working as a gaming exec, I guess, is that a lot of people on top of these companies have no freaking idea on why people love gaming so much. They have no freaking idea what drives us as gamers, and they do not understand what drives developers. They don't understand the process, they don't understand the passion. And to be honest, they don't care to learn. They just want to watch their spreadsheets. That's what gets them off. You know what? And a lot of other industries still get away with that, but not in the gaming industry. Why? Because what I said earlier. For us, this is personal. And it is not a coincidence that Larian and Baldur's Gate is doing so good right now. The leadership at that team are all gamers. And their CEO, Sven, is actually the biggest nerd I know. And I mean that literally, because, I don't know, he's like 6'9". He's even taller than I am. But he has been building this company for the last 25 years. It has been a difficult journey. But now he's in a spot where his game sold 10 million copies at $60 a pop. Now, you need to know that they don't get the full $60 for every single game they sell. Steam gets a share or whatever platform they're releasing on, and then Wizards of the Coast and whatnot, licensing. But I can tell you one thing, they definitely made more money than Overwatch 2 ever did. And they'll most likely keep making more money in the next few months. And on top of that, every expansion they'll be releasing, or every game they'll make after this, will sell like donuts at a police conference. And all because they made a great product. They made a great game. And that's not because they have better talent than all these other companies do. That is because they did not listen to a bunch of suits that start dry humping their desk as soon as they see a spreadsheet. This is a game made by gamers for gamers, plain and simple, the way it's supposed to be. Laren's head of production, David Walraff, well, he said the same thing at the DICE Award when he accepted one of the many awards they won. Honesty will last the longest. Build a relationship that is based on trust with your community and they will reward you. By the way, I have to note that Laren actually does have shareholders, like Tencent is in there for 30%, but they do not have a vote. Not any vote at all when it comes to the actual game. And Baldur's Gate is a different monetization model than all of these live service games, like Overwatch. But I do think that that same principle applies. Trust. All of these live service games have ruined the model. Because in essence, I do believe that there is value to the free-to-play model. But the one thing that ruined it was greed. On the other hand, I do think it can be salvaged, but it is going to take one company to step up and to have the balls to do things differently, to set an example. Because right now I feel like they're trying to outdo each other by bumping up these prices and selling items at prices that would get you a nice second-hand car. They're using FOMO and other dark patterns to ram overpriced items down the proverbial throats of their communities. And all the while they're ruining that trust relationship, which set them on a course to failure. Because at some point, it won't matter how polished your game is, what new mode you added, what new hero you added. At some point, people are rather going to give the money to that weird guy on the corner of the street that is definitely not wearing anything under that trench coat, rather than spending it on your product. Because they don't trust you. And this is where I turn it all back to Overwatch. During Blizzcon, Walter Kong, the big chief at all Overwatch, kind of announced that they would be changing both the shop and the battle pass somewhere this year. And they would start talking about it early 2024, which is now. I actually expect it to be the topic of Aaron Keller's next director's take, which should be coming next Friday. Not this Friday, the Friday after that. I also presume they showed some of it off at the Creator Summit they did last week, but I wasn't there, so... But I genuinely hope that they pull the good guy card right now. This is the time. I genuinely hope that they do not go for another half-assed solution. That just makes us feel like we're getting ripped off in a different way. Blizzard could be and should be that company that has the balls to bring this whole live service model back to the light, away from those dark patterns. They need to regain trust. But how do you do something like that? It's kind of easy, you're just yelling at the camera. Well, I yelled at the camera and made a video about it a few weeks ago, but that was on the Battle Pass. So go and watch that one for the Battle Pass info. For the shop, I have 3 major changes I have in mind. 1, first and foremost, fair pricing. I've said this from the start, but they'll sell more skins if they sell them cheaper. Now, it is very hard to predict if they would kind of make the same amount of money if they sold more skins at a cheaper price. But I am very convinced that they'll make all of the difference back on the long run, and even some more. Because they will be cultivating trust, and that trust will bring in new people, bring back old people, and everybody will be more inclined to spend money. 2. Be generous in the rewards for the people that play your game often. Someone that plays your game hours a day is not only a means of income, they are also your ambassadors. They will be advertising your game for free, and they will be giving you feedback, and that feedback is going to make the game better, which will help you to draw in new players that will be spending money again. See where I'm going with this? You need to reward those people. Number 2 is another big one in my opinion. Allow your players to earn all cosmetics eventually. After a few seasons, just add the skins to the hero gallery and allow people to buy them with credits that they earn by playing the game. Now the only ones I would exclude from that are the collaboration skins, which are presumably the big sellers. According to rumors, the La Seraphim campaign by itself made them a lot of money. And to come back to my first point, those crossover skins would sell even better if they were a little cheaper. For me personally, I did not buy any of the crossover skins up till now. And some of them were pretty nice, but I do not know all of those IPs as I've said before, and I don't know, $20. If they had been 10, maybe 12, I would have been like, alright. I would have probably bought them, especially skins like the One Punch Doomfist. Those are kind of nice. But as I've said before, the more commercial crossovers or collaborations like the gentle glasses thing back in the day, no. That is like paying for ads. That was insane. But anyways, tell me, what changes would you like to see in the Overwatch in-game shop? Let me know in the comments. A big thank you to my patrons for their support. You guys are legends. And you too can become part of the OmnicPost family over on patreon.com/theomnicpost. Check out this video on why Season 9 might be a good time to come back to Overwatch. Join me during my streams on twitch.tv/DamesTV, but above all, make sure to subscribe. Alright, take care of yourself, take care of each other. Bye bye.